Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of WAKO Kickboxing Talks. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. István Király. He is a WAKO Vice President and WAKO Europe President. And along with those two very important positions in WAKO, he is the organizer and promoter of the up-and-coming WAKO World Cup, which will take place in Budapest from 11th to 17th of June 2024. So welcome, Mr. Istvan. It's a very big honor to have you here.
First of all, thank you very much for your invitation. I am really excited to have this report. I think this is a brilliant idea of the social media because the people can look in to the WAKO, which is very important because we should be very transparent and we should be very open mind for everyone, which make us bigger and how can I say more popular world federation.
Yes, exactly our mission. And as I said, you're on two very important positions in WAKO. Is it easy to handle all of the jobs inside? I guess in your duties in WAKO, there goes along with the duties in WAKO Europe. Is it one road to development for our sport?
This is a very, very good question. I guess if you have good colleagues and good friends in during the work, during the challenges, you cannot falling down because of course you can. But as we know very well, we should fall forward, which means everyone has mistakes, everyone has challenges, but if you are so lucky where good people are working around you and with you, especially with you. So it could be a very, very huge potential work and passion. So I'm handling like a passion. As every of my minutes of my life, what I was handling, it was under the passion because otherwise, don't try.
Yes, passion and teamwork are the key to success. And our strong WAKO Europe affects not only the development of WAKO in the international level, but also it gives motivation and support to the other continental organizations like Asia, Africa, Pan America, Oceania. And we are sort of trying to give a model and example of good work. Do you agree with that?
100%. But just if you can look back for the previous question, I just only a few things what I want to mention. The first, WAKO is developing in a pace we haven't seen before. It's very important. As a vice president of the WAKO and the president of the WAKO Europe, looking at the last two cycles and the leadership, I really can say with confidence that the WAKO is on the right path to the Olympics, which is, I think, one of the most important things. And however, very often depends on small details, such that committed in the tireless background done by the colleagues at the WAKO and the WAKO Europe. This is what I mentioned before. So the more accessible these sports becomes, not just, how can I say, not just the passion, we should think about the milestones and the cornerstones of our sports, who are the athletes, coaches, and our referees.
Yeah.
Back to your the question regarding the how we can be a good example for everyone. So I think this the most important things the sports is not politics. It shouldn't be that. We are trying to get to the bottom of the problems and solve them, which means in our team leading by Roy, we must pay more attention to the, as I mentioned, to the cornerstone of the sports, athletes, coach, and the referees. The coaches may spend, how can I say, long period away from their families. The referees spend 10, 12 hours a day working with a passion, decisions with a professional way. So sometimes the sports diplomacy also has the time and pace, but the biggest problem if the leadership are not going to be able to look back what I mentioned to the main stone, the cornerstone of the sport. For me, it's very easy because I'm coming from the tatami. I'm coming from the real sports. I've been fighter, I've been coach, I've been referee. I never forget this
Mhm.
because during my sports diplomatic work, I I try to make any kind of decision with these very important pillars. Otherwise, there is no sense to be here.
Yes,
And this
exactly.
is a good example for any other continent, because here in the WAKO Federation and the WAKO Europe Federation, if the athletes and coaches and referees who support us, they can be satisfied. We cannot, how can I say, we should not think more when our people, our cornerstones are satisfied. We have done,
Yeah.
because the sports federations should sound to the people who are in. And any other things, this is something which is important as well, because somebody should lead the federation. Somebody should make any kind of organization meetings, connections with the major world sports association like IOC, like Sports Accord. But we have good teammates who can do that, fortunately, and we also have good leaders who can look back and work with the problems, which is one of the most important things in our job.
Yes,
This is
exactly.
the reason. This is the reason why I'm here.
Yes.
Sorry, it was a little bit too long, but this is the reason why we are here.
No, 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 don't worry. It was an amazing answer. And regarding to exactly what you said previously, what do you think are the main challenges in WAKO currently?
Very good question. There are plenty of challenges. The most important one, as I mentioned, to care about the athletes, coach, and referees. We have to train professionals who can motivate the children to stay in the sports, which is not an easy task. Getting children into our sports, this is a large task for the coaches, and we need to give them a lot of support from our side and respect to our coaches and athletes. This is the most important things. This is the only way how to keep them in the sport. There are other challenges. 24 hours a week, which you are present on the various social media platform like Instagram, TikTok. What we are doing right now, which is I think the one of the most important things, as we were talking about, it's a very beginning to let the people understand who we are, lets the people understand what we are doing, and there is not any other platform, such a good platform like a social media. So this is the other challenges, and I think we are really lucky in the WAKO and the WAKO Europe, because we have a very good media team leading by Mariana. I really appreciate her work, because she's working really 24 hours per 7 days. There is nobody who is working harder than she. So closing these challenges, we are very lucky.
Yeah.
So, which is, I can speak to the big challenges to be in the Olympics, to be Olympic sports, but everybody knows these challenges. The
Mm.
most important things to talk about the challenges what not everybody knows, which is the how we can care about more with our referees, coaches, and athletes. So I think in the next couple of years, this will be my biggest challenges. Forget to the sports politics and turn back and facing on to the real challenges of the sports milestones. Let the people make happy when they are going to go to the World and European Cups. Let them get everything what we can give them, the developing of the circumstances to make them happier, which means care about a little bit the smaller details, how they can join to the tournament, how can they make the way in, what kind of internal circumstances the promoter can give them, how we can develop these kind of circumstances, what kind of issues we have. My biggest challenge to force to the promoter to be better and better year by year. This is the reason why I was starting to develop to the European Cups. This is our responsibility to let them be more satisfied.
Yes, it's a very big challenge and an amazing job that everybody is doing, really. And let's go back to the World Cup for a second. It's going to be held in Budapest. Tell us about how and when this event started.
Yeah, I am really proud of that because the Hungarian World Cup is being had for the 29th time this year, which is next year we will have the 30th, which is the one of the oldest tournament in the kickboxing world. It is safe to say that this the longest standing World Cup in the history, which we are extremely proud of. It is widely known in terms of the World Cups and international events that in the past 15, 20 years, the Hungarian World Cup has been the second most attended event after the Irish Open. We know very well. And this World Cup should be the biggest exams to every promoters, because if somebody gives their name as a promoter of the tournament, whatever each tournament, and absolutely not important the level of the tournament. It can be internal tournament, it can be international, it can be continental or world. Doesn't matter the title and the level of the tournament. The most important things to the promoter should respect the fighters, coaches, and the referees. This is the most important things, and I think this is why the people like to attend to the Hungarian World Cup, because we really tried to do our best.
Yes, really. And it really shows. And if I'm being correct right now, in 17, there was a huge milestone for the Budapest World Cup where it exceeded 2,500 registered competitors. And since then, it has become a really, really big event and a very big responsibility, as you said. So I want to ask you, how do you feel when you have to interact with the organizers, when you see the numbers of the registered participants, with the supporters, the team staff, and etc.? Do you feel excited? Do you have anxiety? And how do you feel? Tell us about that.
Very good question. After the 29 years, we are not having any doubts about the event at all. In the past, decided we got a lot of positive feedback saying they are happy to come to Hungary for the level of the organization and conduction of the event, which is of course expected to of a World Cup. It is not a question. Of the organizing committee is not continuous. It's once of the World Cup end, the new meeting begin immediately when we used to finish the tournament. In the next day, we are starting, which means every week after the World Cup's weekend, we've been together. And we are planning and we are organizing the next event. So we have almost 52 weeks to do that. So there is no any pause, there is no any rest. Maybe a few weeks in the summer, but the big secret to keep this level, to care about that. And we are five in the team. I mean, in the organizing team, we have Peter Galambos, the president of the Hungarian Federation. We have Christian Jarockiewicz, I think one of the best coach in the world. We have Zsolt Moradi, who is definitely the best athletes in the world, who has the biggest results in his sports history, 10 times world and 10 times European champion. So we have Gábor Juhász, who is the vice president of the Hungarian Federation. And we have Barbara Modality, we have Monika Hammer. So we are not just five, but we have a very, very hard team. And we never had any kind of question why we are doing this, why we have such a hard and big challenge. The answer is definitely very easy, just because we promised the athletes and the coaches and the referees to have one of the best tournament in the world. So there is no question we should do that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a very big commitment. And as you said, basically, when the first one ends, you're already planning the next one. Very big job to be done. I mean, you just mentioned a lot of things that are important when you're planning a WAKO World Cup. But what would you say is the most important thing to focus on when or organizing such a huge event?
I should go back to our main stone, which is, I think, the most important factor when organizing such a World Cup, is to be able to see the perspective of the athletes, the coaches, and the referees. I cannot say anything else. The athletes need to receive to appropriate service and flexibility from the organizers. For example, when they arrive to the weigh-in, they need to have places to sit, and the coaches should be able to go to the register, the weigh-in and the medical examination to take place in a free-through booth. The coach receive information with which, how can I say, they can follow the tournament, they can share with their athletes, their coaches, their representing, and they should follow the digital communication. Referees require very good services and accommodation to work. Everything has an order and place, and we as organizers need to make sure that those from kickboxing involved receive the highest level of the services. This is the main, how can I say, true, how you can keep your level and how you can let them be satisfied.
Yes, exactly. So WAKO has several World Cups all around the world, Europe, Asia, Pan America. My question to you is, why is it so important to have all of these World Cups? Why is it so important to attend them?
So the answer is clear. Every continent needs to large scale event that it is proud of. To the WAKO places great importance on the being able to bring a kickboxers for all over the world. If every continent had a good international level World Cup, the answer is very easy, because the people can find what they are searching for. Fortunately, there are more and more such large scale events on many other continents as well. So I am happy to say that WAKO is going in the right direction about that. So I'm really, really satisfied. If you can see what is going on in South America, many tournaments over there. And Africa is getting better and better year by year. Asia also, I think we have absolutely brand new structures there. And I hope that Australia also can follow this direction. So I haven't got any, how can I say, bad feeling about that. So mostly I'm really, very satisfied about that.
Yes. And it is well known that you have strong governmental support of the World Cup in Hungary. We can see the important guest at the opening ceremony of the event every single year. Can you tell us more about the importance of governmental support when organizing such a big event?
This is a very, very hard question. Even if we are planning to talk about that in the board meeting, because we arrived to the cornerstone about this question, because to organize such a big event like a European or World Championship, this is not a game anymore. Because if you want to be a really correct promoter, you should spend more than 500,000 euros an event, and you should care about everything. And without, I can be honest, very, very, how can I say, in this very hard question, without government support, we are not able to do that. Nobody would be able to do that, I think, because if you wants to be one of the highest level experienced organizers, you should create the highest level circumstances for the coaches, athletes, and referees. You should spend 100,000 euros, and of course you can get the other choice to organize a lower level tournament, but we are not the such organizers who can do that. If we are not going to be able to do that, many other reasons, because maybe we would not get any kind of government support, I would stand up and tell to the people, sorry guys, we are not longer to able to promise such a good level to you,
Yeah.
what we have done before. The answer is very simple. The level means more expenses, and you should think about that, who you are. You are the organizers who who wants to organize such a good event for the athletes, coach, and referees, and maybe as a promoter, you should be honest with yourself, get some profit, or you need the profit, and after that, when you will get the profit, you can care about the others, the coach, referees, and athletes. This is the clearest question during the thinking and the way of the thinking of the organizers. I can be very proud of them. We, in the last 29 years, when we've been running to the World Cups and the last 2-3 major events, to the World Championship in Szeged, 2017 World Championship in Budapest, 2019 European Cadets and Junior Championship in Győr. For us, it was not a question who we are. We are the promoters who care about everything, and then maybe we will have some benefit. We are very happy, but if it's not, the people should be satisfied about the tournament, not the promoter. This is the most important things. This is what I try to explain, who is the sports politics and who is the sports leader. This is the big difference. If you are following to the benefit all the time, you became the politics. If you follow your challenges and your obligation, and you never forget who you are and when you are coming from, you are very lucky if you are coming from the sports, not coming from the politics. This is a big difference. I am very lucky because I am coming from the sports. I understand everything, and I try to care about the sportsmen's, coaches, and athletes. Without any kind of question, this is my passion, and I don't want to change myself. If it's not good for the people, if it's not good for the politics, even if, how can I say, this sounds a little bit harder than the politics can imagine, I will not change myself. I want to be the same István Király what I have been 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago.
Yeah. And it's a very important thing not to focus on just the profits and everything, but to really focus on the spirit of the sport, which is what we are doing here in WAKO anyways. And we know that point fighting is your kickboxing discipline that you like the most. How did your relationship with this discipline evolve? And this is a little bit now a personal more question.
I am not just president of the WAKO Europe and vice president of WAKO. I am the president of the Király Team Kickboxing Academy, and we try to be wider every year because this is the secret and how can I say, the most important things to survive every kind of challenges. If you can be disciplinary wider, which means we are in the all disciplines, because I respect every kind of disciplines, because every disciplines means people, coaches, athletes, and referees. The WAKO, the biggest, how can I say, the biggest achievement of the WAKO to let these disciplines are working and exist, because whatever you are working with any other disciplines, this is your passion, this is your challenges, and the point fighting is one of the disciplines, which means, of course, I am interested in a little bit more than the point fighting, because for me it's more interesting, but I can see how big work exists behind the ring sports, behind the form sports. So we are very lucky in the WAKO because we have such a good disciplines, and this is the secret of our success.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, you have been running your coaching career for a very long time. Do you still coach, and do you still consider yourself as a coaching role in your athletes' lives? And do you also have a special bond with the athletes that you coach and with the coaching itself?
This is a very good question. I never wanted to become a politician, but the sports leaders who know where he started and who loves this profession, This is also true for the president of WAKO, Roy Bacon, and I started out together at the tatami. I remember officiating fight where he was one of the competitors. He has been down this road. He knows the people. He has to make the decision about that. I was the referee, for example, when the Roy was fighting in the World Championship, and I was refereeing, which was very interesting. And we met together in the tatami. He was a Irish coach. I was a Hungarian coach. We fought together. So I think this is one of the most important things in the WAKO. As the president of National Sports Federation, leaders who started as a competitors, coaches, referees, and have become the president, board members, and leaders. Everybody feels the difference between the leaders who is arriving from the sports, because they can see everything, they can feel everything, they could have passion for the sports. Back to your question, I am really happy to sometimes when my time schedule let me go and had the training with my team and back to the history with them. So when you are in, every kind of tired circumstances are done, and you are in, you have the same atmosphere when you have felt in the past and for 40 years. When you arrive to the training and forget everything and every kind of issue, challenges, problems, when you are there working together with your youngs, you can be very happy and very lucky.
Yeah.
That was the very interesting conversation between Roy and me when we were talking about that. And this is the reason why, for example, he's practicing every day as a coach.
Yeah.
This is the main point and the main stone of any kind of world federation, when the leaders know what they are talking about.
Yes, exactly. It's a very important thing to have. And with this, we are concluding our interview. So thank you so much, Mr. Istvan, for being here with us today. And it was a very big honor to have you. I'm sure the viewers are going to be very happy with this interview. The registration for the Hungarian World Cup are soon to be open. And so see you in Budapest in June.
Yes. See you there, and thank you very much for your hard job. It's very good to see youngs who is caring about our sports. So thank you really much to have the report, and I hope the people who will see this, maybe they can understand a little bit more the way of the thinking. Thank you very much.
I'm sure of that. So see you in the next episode. Goodbye.